David and Goliath, a battle of faith. When fear ruled the land, a shepherd boy stepped forward. The armies of Israel stood on one hillside, their hearts heavy with dread and uncertainty. They had been camped there for days, watching and waiting, unsure of what the next moment would bring. The Philistine army stood on the other, equally prepared for battle but with a sense of confidence that came from their champion. Between them was a valley, a no-man's land that echoed with the tension of the impending clash. This valley was not just a physical divide, but a symbol of the fear and challenge that lay ahead. A giant stood in the valley. His name was Goliath. Towering over all, he was a fearsome sight, a warrior of immense size and strength.
Choose a man to fight me. If he kills me, we will be your slaves, but if I win, you will be our slaves. His voice boomed across the valley, a challenge that sent shivers down the spines of the Israelite soldiers.
Goliath was huge. He wore heavy armor, each piece meticulously crafted to protect him in battle. His presence was overwhelming, a living embodiment of the Philistines' might. He carried a massive spear, its shaft like a weaver's beam, and the iron point alone weighed 600 shekels. It was a weapon designed to instill fear and cause destruction. Every morning and every evening, Goliath shouted to the Israelites, his voice a constant reminder of their impending doom. His taunts were relentless, designed to break their spirit and force them into submission.
Choose a man to fight him. The commanders echoed the challenge, but no one stepped forward. The fear was palpable, a heavy weight that hung over the Israelite camp.
The Israelites were afraid. For 40 days Goliath terrified them. No one dared to face him. Each day the fear grew and hope dwindled. The once mighty army of Israel was paralyzed by the giant's presence.
"We can't fight him, he's too strong." The soldiers whispered among themselves, their voices tinged with despair. The challenge seemed insurmountable, and the days stretched on with no end in sight.
Now, a young man named David was tending his father's sheep. He was a diligent shepherd, always ensuring that his flock was safe and well fed. Day after day, he would lead them to green pastures and still waters, watching over them with a keen eye. David was small, but he was brave. Despite his youth and size, he possessed a heart full of courage and determination. He never backed down from a challenge, no matter how daunting it seemed. He had killed a lion and a bear that attacked his sheep. These wild beasts threatened his flock, but David stood his ground. With nothing but his sling and his faith, he fought them off, protecting his sheep from harm. David trusted God to protect him. He believed that his strength and courage came from a higher power. Every night he would pray, asking for guidance and protection.
I trust God. He is my shield and my protector. He has always protected me. In every danger, in every trial, I have felt his presence guiding me.
One day David's father said, "David, take this food to your brothers in the Israelite army. They are fighting the Philistines, and I want to know how they are doing, and see how they are doing. Bring back news of their well-being."
Yes, Father, I will go. I will make sure they are safe and bring back word to you.
David went to the Israelite camp. He heard Goliath's challenge. The giant warrior from the Philistine army was taunting the Israelites, daring anyone to fight him. He saw the fear in the eyes of the Israelite soldiers. David was surprised. How could they be so afraid when they had God on their side?
Why are you so afraid? Do you not believe that God will protect us? Who is this Philistine to defy the living God? We must stand up to him with faith and courage.
David's words were repeated to King Saul. The king sent for David.
"Bring this young man to me."
David boldly told the king,
I will fight Goliath.
"You are just a boy. Goliath is a warrior."
but David insisted.
The Lord who rescued me from the paw of the lion and the bear will rescue me from this Philistine.
David's faith impressed Saul.
"Go, and may the Lord be with you."
Saul offered David his armor, but it was too big and heavy. David refused it. He went to a nearby stream. He bent down and picked up 5 smooth stones. He put them in his shepherd's bag. With his sling in hand, David approached the giant. Goliath laughed when he saw David. The sight of the young shepherd boy, armed with nothing but a sling and a few stones, seemed utterly ridiculous to the giant warrior. His laughter echoed across the valley, a sound filled with scorn and disbelief.
Am I a dog that you come at me with sticks? Goliath's voice boomed as he looked down at David, his eyes filled with contempt. He couldn't fathom how this boy dared to challenge him, the mightiest warrior of the Philistines.
He cursed David by his gods. The giant's anger grew and he called upon his deities to curse the boy who stood before him. His rage was palpable and the air seemed to crackle with his fury. David was small, but he stood tall. Despite his size, David's confidence was unwavering. He knew that his strength did not come from physical might but from his faith and courage.
You come against me with sword and spear. David's voice was steady as he addressed the giant. He acknowledged the weapons that Goliath wielded, symbols of his power and experience in battle. But I come to you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of the armies of Israel. David's declaration was bold and filled with conviction. He knew that his true weapon was his faith, and it gave him the strength to face the seemingly insurmountable odds.
David ran toward Goliath. With a heart full of courage and determination, David sprinted towards the giant, closing the distance between them with every step. He reached into his bag, took out a stone, and put it in his sling. His movements were swift and practiced, a testament to his skill as a shepherd who had defended his flock from predators. He swung the sling with all his might. The stone whirled through the air, guided by David's steady hand and unwavering faith. The stone flew through the air and sank into Goliath's forehead. It struck with such force that the giant's laughter turned into a gasp of shock and pain. The giant fell with a crash. David had won. The mighty Goliath, who had seemed invincible, lay defeated on the ground. David's victory was not just a personal triumph, but a testament to the power of faith and courage. The Philistines were terrified and ran away. The Israelites were victorious. The sight of their fallen champion sent waves of panic through the Philistine ranks, and they fled in fear. The Israelites, inspired by David's bravery, surged forward in celebration, their spirits lifted by the unexpected victory. Like, share and subscribe for more faith-filled videos.